What's good? Today we'll be covering the Ginyu Force members since they do actually fall into the Dragon Ball Seekers category. So, of course, not all units can be included within the free-to-play units. However, I think most people wanted to see the free-to-play LR units. So you will see pretty much the LR Captain Ginyu and the LR Ginyu Force units highlighted throughout this particular showcase. And we'll just go ahead and cover the stats a little bit, and then we'll run through, just overall gameplay. And you will see some of the other free-to-play Ginyu Force members included on the team. Now, for the extreme physical type Captain Ginyu / Ginyu Force, the super attack is the 12 key provides colossal damage to enemy, and also the 18 key will cause mega colossal damage, but also allies defense increase of 30% for 1 turn. The passive skill is a key +3. Attack increase of 7,777 for all allies. Now the tech version, which is the Goku swapped Ginyu, basically the Ginyu Force on top of that, provides a lot more options in terms of boosting up the rest of the team, especially the Ginyu Force units. For that super attack, you're looking at the 12 key greatly raising attack for 1 turn and also causing colossal damage to enemy. The 18 key, however, will cause mega colossal damage to enemy and also raises extreme type allies attack by 30% for 1 turn. In addition to that, the passive skill is also pretty good. Extreme type allies get an attack and defense increase of 30%, and then the Ginyu Force category allies get an additional attack and defense increase of 20% as well. The only problem with these two units is really it just comes down to the link sets. So even though the passive skill for this tech Ginyu Force unit provides a 30% increase to attack and defense to extreme types, but also the 18 key super attack will also increase attack by 30% for 1 turn regarding the extreme type allies. The links are so horrible outside of Ginyu Force team setups that you don't really see too much benefit in that outside of maybe like legendary power and then possibly more than meets the eye, stuff like that. But if you look at the links overall, it's typically the Ginyu Force signature pose, respect, loyalty, and stuff like that. So those are mostly links that are shared amongst the Ginyu Force units. So it's a little bit restricted in that regard. However, this unit only provides 100% boost to stats within the Ginyu Force category. So of course, it's a little bit lackluster. So since all of these units do fall into the Dragon Ball Seekers category, you're getting a much more higher boost from the leaders alone. So that provides a little bit of a boost to stats, regarding the overall abilities and whatnot. So that's probably one of the units that people probably had questions about, seeing how their potentials were and whatnot. So we're just kind of running through it and see how they do overall. It does make the link sets a lot easier when you do have these units paired up with each other. Again, the highlights for this video will be the LR, the LR versions of the Ginyu Force members. Again, you'll see a couple of other different Ginyu Force units also on the team just for, links and setups and all that. But I think mostly people were curious about how the LR versions of the units would do on this category setup. So this is what we're pretty much running through right now. And just a couple of the highlights, I guess. The Birder unit does increase attack based on the amount of ki collected. He also does have the ability to dodge attacks whenever the unit is the first attacking unit in the rotation. The Geese or Jace unit has a passive of being able to foreshadow basically enemy super attacks. It's beneficial to some degree, but it's not 100% necessary. The Raccoon unit does increase attack based on the amount of attacks received by the enemy as well. I'm basically just highlighting the high level passives. It's not in the most detail of descriptions. There's additional stuff with each of these units, but on a high level basis, that's probably the equivalent of being as I don't know, lightly covering the topic as much as possible. I guess it's probably the best way to put it. There are other units, obviously, like the Goldo unit, which is actually pretty good too. He's got the ability to, I think it was medium chance to stun, and also decrease enemies' attack by like 20% or something like that. So, overall as a team, they do quite well with each other. It's almost like the free-to-play Metacooler team in a way, because they do kind of complement each other and provide passives and built-in support that do help the rest of the team out. So the Ginyu Force is definitely a similar format. Again, the only problem with that category is again, the best category lead is 100% all across the board, and you're looking at Dragon Ball Seekers that provides 170% overall, so that definitely does make quite a bit of a difference, in terms of how much of a boost these units actually get. I think in the grand scheme of things, not many people probably run this team setup nowadays. I think initially when they were released, a lot of people were interested, especially going through like prime battles and whatnot. Of course, you can't include the LR units. You'd have to use like the basically the EZA Kid Gohan unit as lead, and pretty much include the rest of the Ginyu Force units. But yeah, I mean, it made prime battle a lot easier for sure. There were quite a few events where you do get like bonus drops. I think the Frieza campaign, legendary campaign, had a bonus drop rate based on Ginyu Force units, if I remember correctly. But chances are, yeah, I mean, these guys kind of, I don't know, faded a little bit. They were, hyped up initially, and then they, yeah, like I said, they just kind of faded out. But that's the thing about Dokkan Battle. It's always, it's continuously evolving. There's always going to be new units that come out. In terms of free-to-play units, they've definitely done pretty well in recent times. I'd say within the last year or so, they really did do quite well in terms of introducing new free-to-play units that are actually very good. The ones that come to mind are obviously the EZAs for the Dragon Ball Super movie Goku and Vegeta units. Golden Frieza is also a very good free-to-play unit as a supporting type unit, and I'm sure I'm missing quite a bit. Out there. What's funny is like the April Fool's Retro Goku and Vegeta are actually pretty decent units too. So again, the point being, they have introduced a lot of good units free to play, so that definitely does help the overall gameplay experience in terms of not having to summon on every banner to be able to pull the newest characters or cards, so to speak. It makes things a little bit more realistic and feasible in terms of managing your wallet, basically, I guess. But overall, I mean, this team is definitely interesting, to say the least. Again, not many people probably opt in to run this team on a regular basis, but with the amount of boosts they're getting, it does make a little bit of a difference compared to 100% stats across the board like the Tech Ginyu Force lead. But again, I don't know. I don't necessarily know how often people even run the Dragon Ball Seekers category, to be honest. I think, especially with, like the update to the Pure Saiyans category with the transforming Vegeta. You've got, the, Metacooler that came out as well. You've got the Super Saiyan Broly. That's also a full power and movie bosses category lead. You have so many good variations of that. And of course, the ones that came out a while back, like the Patata category, Fusions category, and Movie Heroes, those are all good categories. Even the Super Saiyan 3 Realm of Gods, all those are good categories. So chances are people tend to, run those types of teams more than anything. But it's just basically one of those situations where it's interesting to see how these units would do in a better leader skill setting. And yeah, I mean, that's essentially what this is. And seeing how much of a difference it actually makes, I guess. So the defense is definitely a little bit weaker on these enemies right here, so the output is definitely going to be a little bit higher than what you would typically expect. However, at the same time, I guess 315,000 is about normal in a way. At least the LRs are able to put out some pretty good damage output though. They do complement each other in terms of the two LR units. They kind of provide each other a little bit of boost, and 2 mil attack stats is actually pretty good for this unit. And then the tech version, we'll see here in a second. It's about 2 million as well. So pretty solid numbers, especially considering these are free-to-play LRs. I think the other two units, the rest of the free-to-plays, I mean, they are a little bit on the weaker side. I think they're more or less like, I wouldn't say fillers. They do help the rest of the team out, but you know, pretty much the LRs are really the heavy hitters of the category team. So you know, that's pretty much how I would say the format is. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, this is simply just a test of seeing how these units do at 100% potential on the Dragon Ball Seekers category. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. As always, I do appreciate you watching, and definitely stay tuned for the next one. All right, I'll catch you guys later.